today we will talk about HBAR and what it is working on right now in the niche of real world asset tokenization. This one effort in particular is of interest to me because I actually work in the commercial real estate industry, but on the financial services end of things. It's a weird niche. I won't explain it now. But I actually am connected online to the CEO of Red Swan CRE, who has partnered up with the HBAR Foundation to tokenize their commercial real estate portfolio on HBAR. And I am still operating on no sleep. I'm at about 30 or 31 hours of awake time right now, and I actually just recorded this whole thing, or I thought I did, and then I realized I didn't actually hit record because I'm a zombie right now and I'm an idiot. So, also, just because I haven't even had a nap, I would highly suggest to play this and all of my content at 1.75x, because I have been told that that is the most effective increased speed. So let's go back into this. I have to open it up again because I already explained it all to myself. So HBAR has been chosen by NASA as the top crypto project for them. And it's because of their extremely high transaction speed of 500k TPS, with their highest known security design as well, which is an asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerant design, which kind of reminds me of what Casper has as well. And if you look through this, it is just comparing Bitcoin to ETH and now HBAR, which is a powerhouse, even though the price action on it has been horrible. In my opinion, that is only because they have released a lot more than expected HBAR into circulating supply over the last year and a half now. And in my opinion, that is why the price of HBAR turns a lot of people off, but I think it is an amazing opportunity. This right here just explains how HBAR is so powerful. It is a directed acyclic graph, which is comparable to IOTA and Casper as well, but it's its own thing. It is a hash graph. That's what they call it, and that's how it can perform in transaction speeds of over 250k TPS. So I do have some examples of more HBAR real-world asset tokenization as well. This is a guy from DLA Piper Toco, who is concentrating on a tokenization engine and a digital asset creation platform that provides technology services to complement DLA Piper's international law firm. L's are tough today.
In a way that's very, very clear. I think the uncertainty and the negative press in the DLC crypto markets in particular has again slowed adoption to a certain extent. But I'm not seeing a lack of ambition, that's for sure. And to your point, we're betting on both sides. So we're working with the small disruptors and we're working with some of the biggest real estate developers. Both want to do it and both know that's the future of their industry. they just both have different components that making it hard to get them off the ground and scale. But it's definitely starting to happen in a way that's very, very.
Okay, so then we have another example that HBAR has partnered with Carbon Base Co. and Impact X to launch Asia's first digital carbon registry. Ours are hard too today. All right, that's fun. So I was interested in this because I spent quite a while in the oil and gas and renewable hydrogen industries as an engineer. And in the hydrogen industry, I learned even more about these because it was a quote unquote much more climate friendly technology, but I can debate that in other ways, not right now. So essentially, I think, and I haven't checked into this, but I think this is essentially a carbon credit tokenization, which is really interesting because here, large oil and gas firms, they have a certain amount of carbon credits that they are permitted, and if they exceed their carbon footprint, in short, then they have the option of purchasing carbon credits off of other companies that did not exceed theirs. So it is kind of a tokenized asset right now, but the big value in this is it's a very valuable market and a very valuable industry. And when you're tokenizing that, that just puts all of that value on chain. And in our case, it just happens to be HBAR. This right here is another interesting example. I have heard a bit more about this, but which I will follow them. They have brought real-world asset tokenization of diamonds to HBAR as well. Again, they are tokenizing an expensive asset in order to make it a more appealing and a more affordable investment for people like you and me. Whys are hard too. We're having fun, guys. All right. This right here isn't directly related, but I do think it's interesting because Drop is an HBAR partner who is also connected to FedNow. They are providing micropayment services for FedNow. And the Wallet Connect integration is now live, which allows us to directly connect to NFT markets, DeFi exchanges, and more without an intermediary. And M's. All right. Ecstatic. So it is important because it talks about NFTs. And in one way or another, these real world assets that come on a crypto chain, those oftentimes will come on in the actual form of an NFT. So I think that that's a connection to keep an eye on as well. Just to remind everyone of the big names in the HBAR Council as well, you have DLA, Piper, and Toco here. IBM, you have the World Economic Forum, IEEE, which is an electrical engineering association. They have a lot of codes related to communication protocols as well. You have more IBM connections and Casper as well, with a tangential tie back in to the World Economic Forum. Then up here we have involvement with Quant and ISO TC 307, which is the ISO code for distributed ledger technologies. So now let's talk about Red Swan itself. And I will just not explain it because it's easier if I don't talk.
Well, I think that it is the future. It's happening right now. People keep talking about what's going to happen 5 to 10 years from now. It's happening right now. We've tokenized over $5 billion worth of assets. We just had another major assignment in the multi-billion-dollar level, and it's going to continue. Major corporations are calling us. They want to look at their funds. When they were traditionally offering funds that were not in a digital form, they're now looking to digitize those funds because, let's face it, it's much easier for a large institution like BlackRock to not have to pay out redemption to their clients. If you tokenize, they can buy these shares at, like John said, at a price they can afford. But now the redemption is up to the end user to sell their shares on the open exchange. Just is a major game changer for the entire industry. So let's not talk about the future. Let's talk about right now because it's happening today.
100%. So here is their page on X. I am also particularly interested in them. I mentioned this when I forgot to hit record. I don't remember if I did in my take here. It is a commercial real estate investment firm that is actually headquartered in Houston, Texas. I am originally from a town outside of Houston, and I work in a connected industry to these guys here, and I'm also connected to the guy who we just heard talk online as well. I have interacted with him probably 2 or 3 times, and he's always been nice, and I can appreciate that. So this right here is the HBAR Foundation press release about the partnership. They have $5 billion in commercial properties under their investment management right now that is coming on to HBAR, which that was actually in May. There are predictions that real world asset tokenization could hit 16 trillion by 2030. I think that is extremely low. I think it'll be 5 to 10 times that, especially with XDC alone, tokenizing a lot of things in the trade finance industry, which is worth conservatively worth 30 trillion itself. Tokenization of real estate assets increases liquidity, results in a fair market price, and reduces investment management fees as well, which increases market participation, and it reduces costs for the investor as well. Blah, blah, blah. They are expecting to expand their portfolio to about 25 billion in the next 36 months, which is about 30 months now. Just for reference, I think that the largest real estate investment firm that I have ever talked to professionally as a prospective client, they had a portfolio of 1.4, and that was huge. So Red Swan is it's a big deal. I don't know where I was going with that. Red Swan can also create ERC 20 compliant securities thanks to the Ethereum virtual machine compatible Hedera smart contract service as well. The investment platform will expect fiat USD and HUSDC, which is USDC that operates on the HBAR network itself. So if we go to the Red Swan site and you pull up the facts page, at the bottom it talks about what is a token, and it's also interesting because all of their tokens reside in a secure custodial vault at Coinbase, which I wasn't aware of that. So I couldn't at least ignore some HBAR price impacts, right? So I think that this right here is pretty conservative, but if we only assume that the total HBAR market value is controlled by Red Swan, then that would result in a $25 billion market cap in about 2.5 years, and there are currently 33.5 billion HBAR out there right now. This would result in an HBAR price of 75 cents, which is about a 15 or 16x on its 4.8 cents right now. If I adjusted this down to 5 to reflect what it is actually worth now, conservatively, then I'm going to have to reset this and type in these very large numbers again. 5,000 million